This is my walnut desk, and you may recognise it from the build video I released 8 years ago. Since then, it's taken up residence in multiple houses, become a live streaming desk, and it now currently acts as our packing table. But of course, it was never designed for that. It lacks space, it's got a hole in it, and it's not suited to anything that isn't just sitting at it. So it's time for an upgrade. This is a FlexiSpot standing desk, or at least it will be, and as you may have gathered, this video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. Now, I know what you're thinking. This isn't woodwork, it's just screwing pre-made components together and calling it a day. And you would be right in thinking that, which is why Rob is doing it. But what I'm going to be doing on the other hand, once he's got it built, is upgrading the desk to suit the requirements of a packaging table. So let's talk about why we chose this particular desk. We went for the E7Q standing desk with a maple top. It's pretty much the largest and sturdiest standing desk that FlexiSpot make, and its weight is a testament to that. It's over 60 kilos, but that's not actually why we wanted it. We wanted it for the size advantage over the walnut desk, the range of heights it can go to, and most importantly, the weight it can withstand. More on that shortly. Plus, as it's got 4 legs over the standard 2 you would find on other models of standing desk, it's going to be stable from every side, which is ideal for packaging products when multiple people need to be around the desk at the same time. One thing we found particularly useful was how FlexiSpot deals with cable management. A simple hammock under the desk hides all of the mess, which is going to make it very convenient when we come to modifying it. So let's get this desk on its feet and test it out for the first time.
Do I just...
Half out.
Oh.
Hold it down. That is
Oh,
fast.
that's quick.
That's so quiet.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Where does it go?
We've got enough cable. But it's too high for me now.
Wow!
That's...
Wow! Alright.
You know what we've got to do now?
What?
Sit on it.
Obviously. Shall I try it?
Well, how much can it take? It was like 200 kilos or something, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm out of the question then.
Both sit on it.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Right. Why am I the one in control of this?
Well, I think it should be press number 2.
That's going to go to full extension.
I think so, yes.
Well, it's not struggling.
It doesn't care. I think I'm getting vertigo.
This was a bad idea!
Oh my god.
Wow!
That is stable. That is surprisingly stable.
I'm going to use this like round the workshop to clean rafters.
Who needs a scissor lift?
Down? Just, is it seated?
Well, I don't know. I don't think seated works. That's when it just releases everything.
The power cut.
Yeah.
I'll just undo it.
Yeah.
That was great fun.
That's amazing. It just didn't care.
No, that sounds exactly the same. Holy shit.
What a gentle stop as well.
I preferred it out there.
It was cool out there. Shall we go back up?
Alright, enough messing around. We've got some work to do. The add-ons for this desk are going to be made of quite possibly the worst plywood I've ever seen. But it's cheap, hard-wearing and nice and easy to work with, which makes it perfect for a workshop project. Once all the components had been cut out, I reached for my pocket hole jig to join everything together. However, I then realised that past Matt must have snapped the head of the drill bit off, and instead of disposing of it, put it back in the case for future Matt to find. So with this option out the window, the next best solution I had was using dominoes. Not quite the man of the people method I was hoping for, but I'm a YouTube woodworker, so I can't help but use the most expensive, top-of-the-line equipment to highlight just how out of touch I am. Now obviously, with an assembly this wide, it's hard to find ways of clamping the middle of the joints together, but seeing as this is a workshop project, I just used screws to pull everything together, while the dominoes act as locators and the glue created the strength. Then before enclosing the cavities, I attached draw runners to the inside faces and used a piece of plywood to ensure they were installed parallel and at the correct height. I was rather proud of them. I then took the opportunity to figure out how I was going to fix it to the underside of the desk. While doing my van conversion, I've fallen in love with using riv nuts, and so opted to use these to create threads within the desk frame. Obviously, making modifications to the desk isn't recommended by FlexiSpot and will almost certainly void warranties, but I knew what I was doing, or at least I did. until I stripped 2 riv nuts. Turns out M4 fixings are a lot more delicate than the M10 fixings I've been using until now. But anyway, with these figured out and the drawer runners installed, I glued the assembly together before moving on to cutting material for the drawers. As before, I'm going for a simple method of construction by simply screwing and gluing the sides together. Then it's time for pinning and gluing the base into position to help square everything up. To attach the runners to the drawers, I inserted the drawers into the cavity with a small spacer underneath to prevent them rubbing on the inside faces. I then marked where these holes landed on the side and used a marking gauge to scribe this line down the entire length of the drawer. Then all I needed to do was line the runners up with the line and get them screwed into place. To finish off the drawers, I'm going to be using false fronts, which will be painted grey at a later stage. Again, I wanted to avoid these rubbing on the carcass and catching on each other, so I used shims to space them apart evenly and used superglue to hold them in position before fixing them from the inside of the drawer. I then filled, sanded and primed all of the outside surfaces in preparation for painting. While that was drying, I turned my attention to the dispensers at either side of the table. One is going to dispense packing tape and the other dispenses black wrap. For the black wrap dispenser, I'm opting to use a very similar construction method to the one that I used in the magazine rack made back in 2018. And it's a pretty simple method of ensuring the dowel can easily be removed and reinserted without the use of any additional hardware. And I did this by simply cutting a notch into one end of the dowel that allows it to slip down into a smaller diameter hole below. You could do this at both ends of the dowel just for extra security, but realistically, one side is absolutely fine. Then all it takes is another round of dominoes, a bit of glue and some screws. Then it's on to the packing tape dispenser. For this, I want the packing tape to be accessible from either side of the standing desk with a couple of additional tape rolls easily accessible. And for this, all it requires is a few holes and some bolts to support the tapes. They can even use the original mount that came with the packing tape dispenser. Then by repurposing the old cutting blades, we can screw these into position to bring the same functionality as the portable tape dispenser into the table. Finally, the additional rolls are held in place by another couple of bolts threaded through some laser cut discs. At which point both the black wrap and the packing tape dispensers are sanded and primed, ready for painting. Installation was as simple as carrying the frame through to the merch room, lowering into place and threading the bolts through the riv nuts we installed earlier. Then we rotated the desk back onto its legs and positioned it in the centre of the room and installed the drawers. Each one fit perfectly. Next up, the black wrap dispenser, which was simply screwed directly to the underside of the desk.
These are good screws.
First attempt with the cling film. Oh, beautiful.
Cut it with a screw. Yes.
Oh, that will work. Oh, I'm turning away. No.
Then onto the packing tape dispenser, which went perfectly.
Oh dear, oh no. Oh, this doesn't look good.
What? Oh!
Oh no!
Wait, I sized that wrong. Oh, it's because I stuck it. I was meant to do the OSB on the inside. As I was saying, yeet. Yeet.
Oh, look at what a waste.
But we were missing one final piece, the blade to cut the black wrap, and in this case I used 2 hacksaw blades mounted at a 45-degree angle. Now all that was left to do was test it.
Then we get this.
Uh-huh.
On.
Okay.
And we go.
That's pretty good. I like it. A bit of tape.
Bit of tape around it.
What a before magic. To be fair, that was pretty good.
It's not bad. It's so much easier than before. I don't know which way up it is anymore, but fine. Packaged.
Packaged.
Label to America.
Boom.
Sorted.
That's awesome.
Project packs, matteslea.com/shop.
Of course, a massive thank you to FlexiSpot for providing us with this heavy-duty standing desk. It's stable, can carry up to 300 kilograms in weight, and the mechanism to lift the desk is silky smooth. If you're looking to upgrade your desk with FlexiSpot, we've popped some links and exclusive discount codes in the description below for you to use. Thanks again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video.